What's up, everybody? This is Donnie the Cynic, and this is another video from my channel, A Cynical Perspective, which I go out here and pretty much explain everything with a cynical tone. That's the best way I can think of right now. Hence the name, A Cynical Perspective. Sometimes my views might come off as cynical. Yeah, I keep saying that. Or facetious or whatever, but that's just me being me. I realize the world is not always friendly. And sometimes you have to be completely honest with what you say and what you do. Otherwise, people can't trust you. Now, that being said, I want to talk about this new game that's about to come out called Martha is Dead. Now, I was going to do this on my gaming channel, but because it has a few, I don't know, how do you say, political stuff to it based on why the game is being censored and everything, I think it'd be safe to keep it on this channel. And mind you, I'm going to try to minimize my profanity intake and output, but no promises. So work with me here. Okay, YouTube, work with me. Anyway, as I was saying, the game Martha is Dead is being modified by the developers of the game. Why are the developers modifying the game? Because Sony has a ridiculous censorship rule that they had for almost a half a decade ago. Mind you, Sony's censorship game lately now is even worse than Nintendo's back in the day. If anybody remember Nintendo back in the day, you will remember that Nintendo used to be so kid-friendly for Super Nintendo and NES games that they would censor any game that shows any kind of violence to it. That's why Mortal Kombat 1 on the Super Nintendo, which I might play one day on my gaming channel, just to give y'all show y'all what I'm talking about. They actually changed all the fatalities in the game, except for maybe a couple of them, like Scorpion's fatality, and who else fatality didn't change? Liu Kang's, yes. Every fatality, they literally, and Sonya's, yes. I think they changed the rest of the fatalities. Raiden's with the Sub-Zero's definitely. Johnny Cage, Kano's. They changed all the rest of the fatalities to make them more, not G-rated per se, but more PG rated. PG close to PG-13. But I say PG because there was no blood and gore. And the reason why they did that was Nintendo was being smug. They realized that was a big mistake because Sega Genesis Mortal Kombat was killing them in the home console market. Because the Genesis one was also censored. But to fix that issue, you had to put in a special code. Once you put the code in, fatalities galore. Blood, gore, fatalities galore in Mortal Kombat. That's why the Sega Genesis Mortal Kombat, and I was there at the time, and I bought the Genesis one, was outselling the Super Nintendo one, which I did play. I ran that Blockbuster at the time, played it, didn't like it, but and a lot of people know what Blockbuster Video is to the younger generation. Blockbuster Video was a video store. We didn't have streaming back in the day, so we had to just go out here, go to a video store, rent a game, bring it back home, and play it for a few days. That was life back then. Anyway, I'm digressing too far on that. On the history, back in the past. Let's continue. Anyway, like I was saying, is that Nintendo learned from their mistakes. They learned that this is a vast market out here that requires all types to play their games. So they had to appeal to a large variety of people, from the mature crowd to the kid crowd and everything else. As far as the kid crowd, they got that straight. Mario, Zelda, they got that straight. That is perfectly fine. That's their department. They got that straight. But as far as like for the mature crowd, they want to get them back into their good graces. Ever since the whole Wii debacle, they want to get them back in their good graces. Because while the Wii was a great selling system and put Nintendo and literally saved Nintendo from possible bankruptcy, it alienated their fan base, making sure that Nintendo is always going to be a game for kiddie systems, for kiddies, kids, younger generation, and older generation who don't like all that violence and mature stuff. So it kind of diluted them a bit. But then, others, by increasing their casual market people, they was alienating their hardcore players. It's kind of like, to put an analogy, it's kind of like sacrificing. It's like how the new Star Wars is now. How they how these people out here are trying to, Disney and the people in charge of Star Wars now, not the TV series, by the way, the movies. How they try to focus on an audience that nobody cares about, and to hell with the old fans. Old fans are so diehard and loyal that they literally will go out here and actually buy whatever Star Wars merchandise, watch whatever Star Wars movie, no matter how bad it is, because they're that loyal. These new people working for Disney for the movies, the sequels, they was like, screw y'all, we go focus on the people that don't care. That's stupid. That's a waste of money. Nintendo learned from their mistakes and realized they can't do that. Now, the casual market for them was beneficial almost 15 years ago, almost a decade and a half ago. It wasn't. It was hurting them. It's kind of like a plus and a minus. So it's like, Nintendo had to spend a while to try to build their market back with the third parties and stuff, because let's be real here. A game like Metal Gear would go to the Nintendo system, but how Nintendo is set up, they rather make it for a Sony system because they feel that Sony is at that time more sophisticated. Same goes with the Resident Evil games. Same goes with what's the other one I'm talking about? Same goes with what's another mature game that third party developers don't look at Nintendo being a good platform to host their game. Let's see. I said Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry, yes. You get what I'm saying with this. You see I'm going through with this. A lot of mature games that Sony, that will be right at home with Sony and even Microsoft to a lesser extent, will not work well with the Nintendo. That's why Nintendo recently now is very lax on their censorship when it comes to games. You can put just about any game you want that's graphic, violent, whatever, as long as it follows the ESRB guidelines in their respected regions of all parts of the world. That's why Nintendo cut us some slack, because of the past with games like Mortal Kombat up until today, or around the time of the Wii and up to today. Now, Sony, on the other hand, is going backwards. Rather than, and this only proves my point with Sony. Sony seems to have a weird habit of always copying Nintendo. Sometimes they'll copy Nintendo directly outright, or sometimes copy some of Nintendo flaws. And Microsoft is doing that with Sony, copying Sony. It's I don't know why these game companies do that mess. But anyway, let's focus on Sony right now. Sony is taking some of Nintendo's ideas, but reverse it and saying, hey, rather than have our content be, more mature, more, the opposite of what Nintendo is, we want to censor every daggone thing. Because I know there's a lot of Japanese games is being censored because, in Japan, that's their thing, you know what I mean? That's what they do in Japan, And because a lot of Japanese games in Japan is imported by American players that plays on streaming sites like Twitch, Facebook Gaming, YouTube Gaming, and other various gaming streaming channels, is how can I say it? It's some ways interfering with their policies, the term of service policies, varying from whatever platform you're playing it on. Then there's the infamous political crap. This is why this video is on this channel, rather than my gaming channel. Then there's all the political crap, because the Me Too movement, feminism, all that BS, blah blah blah, whatever crap that people want to complain about that they don't really care about, but they want to complain about to try and put themselves on the map. In other words, the Nia Sarkeesian effect. Because nobody care about her. She just used gaming as a gaming. She just pointing all the sexual flaws of gaming as a platform to try and make herself famous. But anyway, and look how good how that work out for her. Not so much. But anyway, I'm digressing again. My point is, I'm trying to get at is the fact is that Sony is going backwards. Rather than them going out here and say, hey, we Sony, we're a $1 billion company. We can find some kind of legal loopholes and whatever with our games and such. I mean, we allow people to post our at least we ain't like Nintendo. Shoot, Nintendo, they censor any one of their games that pops on some streaming sites. Mario, they censor. We don't do that. We let Last of Us 2 be played online or be played on YouTube and Twitch if people want to play it. We don't care about that. We would think Sony would do something like that. But instead, Sony's like, we're scared of Me Too. They might hurt us. We scared of the West. The West, all they gotta do is complain and we gotta deal with legal problems. Okay, tell you what, let's put up this new policy and censor games. They try to go the YouTube route, but worse. At least with YouTube, YouTube just like say, with their policies now, YouTube is like saying, hey, instead of you going after us, go after the people. You go after the people, keep us out of this. That's how YouTube works. YouTube is like this. YouTube is like, okay, let's say if what's his name? Totally Not Mark, who recently won his battle with Toei Animation. He won that battle because Toei Animation said that he used a lot of Dragon Ball content in the episodes. And I'm actually going to do that same kind of mess myself. I'm gonna have to ask him for some cues and advice. Anyway, he was going through the mess in which Toei Animation was messing with him and his content that he heavily edited for fair use and did everything right, but he's still messing with him. So what YouTube did, they said, this is between you and Toei. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put y'all two together and y'all duke it out. If y'all want to bring the courts in there and deal with it, y'all do that. But we just our job is to show it, to broadcast it. It's up to you to deal with the people who's actually censoring your content. Take them to court. And that's how it should be. Sony should do the exact same thing. If they feel as though that the content that they have, is too graphic, they should let the people who's crying and complaining and bickering about how terrible or how graphic this game is, let them take it up with the developers. So that way the developers could tell them to go freak themselves and let us, if you don't like the game, don't play it. You get what I'm saying? That's what he should do. I mean, I've seen so many woke people, so many comic book people that's extremely woke talking about something like that. What's her name? That little red-haired white woman. I forgot her name. She's a comic book person. She said this, and y'all should know the quote, but I forgot her name though. She said, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. Look what happened. Nobody bought her book. Then she started crying weeks later like, this is a misogyny. Yeah, well, whatever. My point is, I'm trying to get at right now is that that's a good thing. What they should do something similar. By letting these people who have a lot of argumentative grievances about a certain game, they should let them argue with the developers directly so the developers could tell them to eat 1,000 penises and, of course, go do them. But instead, they don't do that. Sony just say, oh, we don't want to get sued too. So, okay, we'll bow down and tell them to censor the game. And that's not right. That's not right at all. That's not right. It's kind of like, to put an analogy, it's like somebody, it's kind of like instead this person fight this person head up and beat them, they go out here and run to the police or run to an adult person and tell that person and snitch on that person. Doing that kind of thing will make that person hate you even more, and they probably plot to kill you. I don't know. I'm just saying. My point is that there's other ways you could work around that. You see what I'm saying? And if you, like I said, you can't expect people to save you all the time. You gotta like confront the situation, fight it head on, and see what happens. Now, like I said earlier, if, and I do mean with capital if, that will work with Sony doing the YouTube method, we have been fine. We could have a nice uncut version of Martha's Dead and be A-okay. But now we gotta have this bastardized, edited, half-edited version of this game. And I do mean half-edited because from what I gathered, not from this thing, but from what I gathered is that I read this from a different article. They saying that they may actually take Martha's Dead, the Sony version might actually everything is going to be like, in the Microsoft, the Xbox version, the PC version, in which where you like this one scene there in which you cut off a person's face. And what they're doing is that in the Microsoft version, Xbox version, you actually cut their face off, like sawing or whatever. You're actually doing that, cutting off. Cutting and skinning and whatever, you're actually doing that with the controller, the motions. But the Sony version, what I'm gathering is that they go like look like you about to cut the person's face off, and the game automatically takes over, and then it fades to black with you wearing that person's face. That kind of censorship. And I'm like, oh, come on. And I think the reason Sony is doing this mess, now one person, the YouTuber Mystic, he does have a slightly good point though. He's saying it's because maybe they don't want the scene may be too graphic for some people. And I partially agree with him on that. But that's what the ESRB for. The rating system job is to tell you in full detail what kind of game this is. Just slapping the M rating alone should tell you what kind of game it is. You don't have to actually get the full details. Just say M rated 17. Why is it M rated? It's just M rated. That means it might be a violent game, might be a bloody game, might be a gory game. Don't buy it for kids. Simple as that. Don't sell it to kids. Doubly simple. It's just not that. It's not really cut and dry. I mean, it actually is kind of cut and dry, but it's not really that big a deal. Just do that. Just do that. So, what happened now is that this game is being heavily edited for the PlayStation version, and they said that the physical copy is going to be released on a later time, which I think sucks booty juice, because that's not right. That's not right. Because now, in the end of the day, I got all three systems. I got the PlayStation 5, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One. Yes, I still got 360. Xbox One, Xbox Series X. Actually, I got two Series X's, but one's works, one's broke. That's a long story on that one. I got Nintendo Switch, never opened it. Long story on that one. Like I said, I got all the systems, and I recommend anybody who is a hardcore gamer like myself, get all four: PlayStation, Sony system, a Microsoft system, a Nintendo system, and a PC, a gaming PC, of course. Always keep your options open, okay? Because you never know what kind of situation like this will happen to you. You get what I'm saying? Keep your options open. Now, we go read this a little bit, because I was just telling you what I read from a previous article and my thoughts on it. I'm gonna add some additional thoughts to it, but let's read this a little bit. It says horror game Martha's Dead to be modified on PlayStation, but now on Xbox and PC. PlayStation version upcoming horror game Martha's Dead has been modified to remove certain elements. Despite the original version launching as normal on Xbox and PC. God bless the Xbox. Because if it wasn't for the Xbox, I wouldn't even buy the game. Real talk, I wouldn't even buy the game. But because the Xbox leaving it alone, I'll buy it. And this is sadly why one of the reasons why Xbox is catching up to Sony in terms of, strategy, marketing strategy. Because everybody know what happened. Microsoft a while ago had bought Bethesda or Cinemax, which is the parent company of Bethesda, and a couple other IPs in that, the lease of that. And then a month ago, they bought Activision, Blizzard. So, and they bought a whole bunch of other companies before the Bethesda thing. That's crazy. Like Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory is a company that used to be Sony exclusive with the Heavenly Sword thing, and then later branch out their own independent with Enslaved, Journey to the West, and what's the name? Hellblade, Sasuna Sacrifice. That's the name of the game. I don't know. But the point is that Microsoft is now doing everything Sony is doing. They flexing their money and buying companies like Sony used to do back in the day, where Sega was a major player in the game, like alongside Nintendo. But anyway, the point is that God damn, Sony need to step their game up on this one. It's bad enough that Microsoft was buying major companies left and right, but yeah. Well, that's another video for another time. Let's focus on Martha. Let's focus on Martha's deal, okay? Now, finish reading. It's not clear what has been modified. We already know what it is. But Martha is Dead is already noticeable. I'm sorry, I'm going to say notable for unflinching look at graphic elements. Even in its trailers, the announcement came in a tweet below, posted just 10 days before Martha is Dead's launch. Expressing regret at the change, the developer's statement was prefaced with a warning that the game was always intended for adult audiences. See, now I'm going to stop right there. This is why the ESRB existed. We thank Mortal Kombat for that mess, but this is why it existed. So that companies like this company could freely bring out the most violent and goriest and craziest game and still have a rating on there. Now, a lot of companies don't want to, try to go overboard, so they try to go win the boundaries of the M-rated and under. Because as long as I live, I have never seen an adult-only game except for the ones that are supposed to be mature, that became adult, like GTA, San Andreas, the hot coffee mod, which I have. I'm gonna play that one day on my channel, my other channel, and of course, this old game, right, called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. I don't know. Yeah, that was also an A-rated game. That was on the 3DO. And that's another game. I can't put my finger on it. But like I said, the whole purpose of ESRB is to protect companies like this for being very artistic with their games. Otherwise, what's the point? Let's see. Despite the original version launch as normal Xbox PC, it's not clear what has been modified. We read that part. Okay. The announcement came in a tweet. We read that part. Expressing regret the change, the developer statement was prefaced with warning that the game was already intended for the audience with play consisting of potentially discomforting scenes and themes that may distress some players. Okay, if the game is that violent, don't play it. They're going to have the M-rated right now. That's going to protect a lot of young kids from buying a game that's under 17. So that means the game, and right now, 17? You one more year from being 18. Now, yes, the game might be a bit graphic, but come on. Is it no different than a movie that's in that same 17 and older mindset? And that's another thing, too, though. Because remember, mature 17 is rated R. It's supposed to be like the game version of rated R in America, in the West anyway. The game version of rated R. So they should be able to be artistically free to do whatever they want in this game. However, because of the political policies in the West and the Me Too movement, all that crybaby stuff, they go censor it. Going to run a very good game experience to please a few crybabies who don't even got daggone game like that. They just doing it trying to get some virtue points, as I like to call it. Oh my God, this world is a mess. Anyway, let's continue reading. It's also announced that the physical versions of PlayStation. Oh yeah, by the way, y'all, I'm ad-libbing a little bit. So if I skip a few words or say it wrong, that's just me ad-libbing. I apologize. but at least it keeps me on point. Will be delayed for a small number of weeks. So that means that the PlayStation version physically is not going to be this. It's going to be the censored version. So think of it as like Mortal Kombat 1 Super Nintendo all over again, and that sucks. I would never, like I said earlier, I would never in my wildest dreams think that Sony will be doing the same ridiculous thing that Nintendo used to do in the 90s. It's sad when I had to sit back and look at Sony. Look at it. You could tell I'm getting old when Nintendo is focusing on mature games, freedom of expression with the mature games, and Sony is the censoring one. Damn, times has changed. Let's see. Mark this day update. Okay, we read all this. Mark this day is a narrative adventure recommended for adult audiences only. Will play consistent of potentially discomforting scenes and themes that may distress some players. Both. What was that? Red Productions, LKA had always been open and honest about Martha's Day content, but the sensitive depiction and play constantly communicated with the media. Since the game was announced in 2019, the game also flowed clearly, repeatedly with the game. It is with regret that we have to modify the experience in the PS5, PS4 versions, with some elements no longer playable. Now, when they mean by modified, that means they go censor the crap out that game, and the scenes that you can actually interact with on the Xbox version, the PC version, will be automatically controlled by the game, and it will fade to black before the actual violent aspect begins. That's what I believe is going to happen. It's just a guess. Now, some people guessed it too, but we'll see from there. It is with regret that we have to modify the experience on PS5 4 versions, with some elements no longer playable. After over 4 years of passion and hard work, developer LK now requires extra time to make their unplanned changes. Martha instead, as a result, will still launch digitally on both PS5 and PS4 on Thursday, February 4th and 4th, 2022, but the physical retail release will be delayed to a yet to disclosed date. Although we anticipate this and could be a small number of weeks, our physical edition contains the bonus content of a double-sided poster, digital cards, social marketing stable. Oh wow! I was gonna read the rest, but y'all got eyes. All right. Developer LKA and publisher Wire Productions added, it is with regret that we have to modify the experience on the PS5, PS4 versions with some elements no longer playable. They added the PC and Xbox version of Martha's Day are both unaffected by these developments and will launch with full unedited gameplay as planned. Being that I will have to go buy the Xbox or the PC versions, which is ironically good because I actually have Xbox Live for free. Long story. Thank you, Walmart. I got that for free for 1 year, and I got the PC and Xbox Live on PC also free because I bought a Nerd Gaming PC. So thank you, Micro Center. Anyway, now even though somehow Microsoft might give me a game for free to play, I'm still gonna buy it out of respect because you got to respect companies that come out with something artistic like this and keep it in the realm of keep it uncensored and such. Damn, Sony. Let's see. Why this there's a dark psychological thriller within which LK promises to keep multiple narratives combined with real location, message history, superstitions, reach out for common PlayStation. March they release on. Okay. That sucks, I know. Let's go to this I was trying to go to the Twitter page, but it won't let me do that. That sucks. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I was trying to go to the Twitter page and read the comments on that, see what people think of it, but I'm using Streamlabs and they not let me go through. I'm still a novice of this, y'all, so please bear with me. I'll find other methods as the days go by, but I was thinking with Streamlabs on a novice type of level. Okay, still battling Sony has become more censorship heavy than Nintendo. If you're in a situation with Nintendo or fine with adult content, you're not something to go wrong. Exactly. I'm reading this guy. Now let's read the comments. Cause I just read this comment. I'm sorry for mumbling. I didn't even. I'm just. Let's read the first 10 comments on here and get an idea what I'm. Get an idea and see what other people talking about besides myself. Because again, like I said, I'm too goddamn old. Anytime Nintendo is not censoring stuff, because this is like the 4th Nintendo game that I've seen that both Nintendo and Sony both bring out from Japan or from America in the West. That's Nintendo still in perfect, pristine, uncut condition, and Sony is censoring stuff. So let me ask myself this: why is it that Nintendo is not afraid of what other people think of the games of the situation, and even Microsoft? But for some weird reason, Sony's afraid. It doesn't make sense. Unless there are exceptions to the rule. Because The Last of Us 2, last time I checked, is up there with Martha is Dead. As far as gore, blood, sexual themes. Definitely sexual themes. Come on. I know all y'all seen the ad. Anybody played Last of Us 2 seen that Abby sex scene. Whew. Anyway, the point is that I guess Sony is trying to say, hey, well, enough with the exceptions to the rule. I don't know. It's weird. Okay, let's read some of these comments right now. The first 10. We're living. It still baffles me that Sony has now become more censorship heavy than Nintendo. I know, right? And if you're in a situation where Nintendo are fine with adult content and you're not, something gone wrong. That's right. Sony used to be punk, especially now Nintendo's way more punk than them. I can't get my head around. I agree with that one. Nintendo said head office in Japan, keeping the culture intact. Sony community starting to adopt more Western influence. And not long ago, who did Japan to do? Oh wow, I didn't know that. Sony censoring games again. Again? Dang, they was doing this way before 2010. They're far worse than Microsoft did, but even Microsoft is guilty too, such as why the Xbox port of Gal Gun Returns got canceled. Nintendo, ironically, since they are often seen as the most killer. Yeah, at least like this. Yeah, okay, what Steve's right here said makes sense. It's weird. It's super weird. Because like I said earlier, y'all, in the 90s, Nintendo was the grandfather there. There was the, get out my lawn, you kids type of, this is gross to watch. I'm boycotting, the parents of the situation. The grandparents, the great-grandparents, the ones that are not open to change. Now, Nintendo's like it's like Nintendo found a fountain of youth, took a sip of it, gotten younger, and now they like say, hey, screw that. Let's show everybody let's show titties and booty. Let's show all that. Let's show violence and killing. The graphic, the better. Now, but then, now all of a sudden Sony on the other hand is the one, and Sony was the ones doing that mess back in the day, to show everything graphic and violent. Now it's the other way around. What the heck? Sony is like, it's like Sony all got cowardly now and scared, like afraid what people think of them. That's sad, really. And they said Microsoft did a little bit, and ironically enough, like I said earlier, folks, Microsoft copies Sony a lot. So more likely to go copy some of their uncut scenes. But I guess in this situation, Microsoft finally grown a pair and say, you know what? Let's stop copying Sony for a little bit. Let's copy Nintendo as well. Nintendo has been in the game for what? How long? Too long to remember. Anyway, let's copy from them a little bit as well. Let's stick with this uncensored thing and see how far it goes. Sony want to go out here and censor Martha's Dead? Nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to have this advantage over them. So, yeah. At least Microsoft finally got some balls. What's up with Sony censorship as of late? This is from the dude Sonic 429. What's up with Sony censorship as of late? I expect that's from Nintendo. Even they pretty chill now. It's not like they were in the 90s. Nope, sure hell not. This will Climax McOrange said. McOrange. Nintendo is nothing like they were in the 90s. Their quality control has gone to hell. And they allow any crap game on the eShop store. Hand clock game, just a long control on Switch now. Trying to pull something like that. What song is this on Brooklyn? Wow, another one for such. Frederick 112002. Wow, not one for such. Okay, this is another one. Midori I-85. They're just going to make the game popular, take something away. Then people are going to wonder and check out. And I didn't know about this game until I heard or sensing it. And it's made to go check out Indeed Disturbing, but now I want to play it. See how that works? That's true. Okay, Midori IE5 is right, though. She's saying that they're just going to make the game popular. And that's true, though. A lot of times, these companies go out here with this weird censorship thing. They try to start controversy with anything to try to drum up, and I quote, try to drum up outrage, controversy. And I think it's activists, as they call it. You know, try to add some kind of drama so people could say, I want to check this out now since I hear so much about it. Like the game called Forsaken a while back. The girl in Forsaken, I forgot her name. Tall, statuesque black girl, very pretty, British. She was that tall black chick in the Charlie Angels reboot sequel. I don't know. Really attractive. Got her playing the main character. So what he did is that the gaming companies try to do that little instigating stuff, try to say, hey, this person said that she is such. It wasn't even that dang on racist, come to think about it, but they try to attach a race type thing in there to try to drum up controversy for the game, so people say, oh, y'all bullying the poor tall, cute black girl. Oh, I'm going to buy this game by default. They need to stop with that mess. They need to stop. But, they always do that in these games. They always try to start some kind of controversy to try to sell the game. If that game is going to be that good, you don't have to use controversy to sell the game. I remember back in the day, y'all, when Tomb Raider, the remake of Tomb Raider, the first one that came out, I think around 2012-13, they tried to drum up controversy with that by saying, oh my God, they touching Laura in a sexual manner, like they about to pre-rape her or pre-sexually assault her. I'm like, no, they not. Why y'all doing that? Don't do that. Don't try to make that the focus point in the game. Just leave it alone. And I guess they learned from their ways and leave it alone. But my point is that that's how they do it. They always do that. Try to add some kind of drama into something so people can act up on it and look at it even further. It's weird. They haven't learned anything from that. But I guess that's going to be part of the, our culture. So it's like they read some names and still be sense. Afraid even ever heard. This place so please to let me just read this. Sheep Ink. Is it Sheep Ink? Sheep Link? Ugh. As a PlayStation owner, I am so pleased that Sony is there to tell me what I can't consume in the realm of fiction. I concur. We need more companies like Sony, Facebook, Google to parent us grown as adults and filter what we are allowed to consume. It's definitely for our own good. Seven Samurai say this. That's adorable. But yeah, it's kind of sad though, because you're a person, you're a consumer, you pay all this money for this game, and then you got Grandpa Sony out here telling you that this game is too graphic, and they want, not even Grandpa Sony, I say Papa Sony or Mama Sony, out here telling you, nope, you can't play this game, it's too violent. Given that back in the day, they used to push that kind of edginess in their games to sell those games, and they did not care. So I guess when you're a company, you're young and hungry, you was like you'll do whatever you want to, keep the fan base going. But then you get older and comfortable enough to don't give 10 craps about what the fan base thinks. You can start parenting stuff. Good God Almighty. And at the end of the day, I'm going to buy the Xbox version just because of this. I thank Sony for actually putting all this controversy up for boosting this game, but I'm buying I'm buying the Microsoft version. It's just that simple. If not that, I just buy it from PC. Let's see. It's only room for hypocrisy. Yep. Mr. Burns returns. Sony, one rule for me, and another one for D. Hypocrisy. Yep. I just said that too, y'all, because of The Last of Us Part 2. Sony. We all know if you remember the people. Y'all, we were just talking about that, y'all. Zero Cypher. He said everything I just said earlier. Who here is old enough to remember when people were given a choice between Mortal Kombat on Sega's Genesis and Super Nintendo? Which I just said earlier in the beginning, y'all. They usually went Sega because Nintendo didn't have blood. I said hate blood. Didn't have blood. And like I was saying earlier, very beginning in the video, I said that that Sega Genesis had to put in a special code to unlock the blood and the gore scenes in Mortal Kombat 1. Otherwise, the game is pretty much just as censored, if not worse censored than the Super Nintendo version. But Nintendo told Midway at the time to redo everything over. Like, damn, that sucks. But I guess, like I said, like I also told y'all before, Nintendo learned from their mistakes. And speaking of Nintendo, I hope to God in Jesus' name and Lord and my shepherd, I hope Nintendo come out with their Eternal Darkness game. Hell, they don't even make the game. Just, retouch up on the Sandy Meter idea. Put that on the Switch. Oh my God, could you imagine Nintendo Switch with a turn over oh man, I don't want to think about it right now. That's just my brain would hurt to think about it. But they ever bring that game out on the Nintendo Switch with all the Switch controls and the touch screens and such? Oh my God, Nintendo will be the masters of horror. Shoot, Capcom be begging to make games for them. Let's see. Alright, don't surprise me anymore. Even Doki Doki Literature Club was censored on PlayStation while all the other versions still intact. So much for narrative to be only Japanese fan service type games. So I only changed the Doki Blood being green instead of red, so honestly don't bother me all didn't change the really. Okay. I was gonna read the rest of these, but if we do that, we'll be doing this all day. So let me see. There y'all have it. Like I said, Sony. I should look through more channels to just point things out, y'all. But nah, I'm already ranting as much as I shouldn't be about this game. And at the end of the day, I'm still gonna buy this game, but on the Xbox, only because I'm not trying to be no psychopath. Because I think that's the reason why. No, I can't even say that because Sony is censoring games to protect themselves from whatever dumb lawsuit, or they trying to adapt a Western approach to things, which is not a good thing. I mean, do you think the Japanese be smart enough to look at the political climates and how in the Western world now over here? Everything that seems to go woke loses money. And now they want to go out here and start doing all this heavy censorship in the game that they know is going to sell more on the Xbox and the PC than on the PlayStation. It's dumb. It's dumb. And ironically enough, I told my nephew, my cousin, to stop focusing on one system. Focus on multiple systems because you never know. Stuff like this always happens. I've been playing games all my life. Sony, Sega, Nintendo, Microsoft, Panasonic, Atari, PC, NEC or TurboGrafx. I've been playing games my entire life. And I always have multiple game systems because you never know what company might go out here and do something incredibly stupid. It's always best to keep your options open. Be the bisexual of video games, consoles. Anyway, y'all, I apologize for making this video this long. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'm trying to build my channel up more, so if you like my content, I'm post more of this as the days go by. Like and subscribe, please. I'm trying to revive this dead channel that I have lost interest in for a while because of personal issues. So please like and subscribe to my channel, and again, thank you for watching. God bless you.